Greetings again, fellow papists. In the Father Baptist novels, many characters describe themselves as ultra-realists. Could the always sagacious Charles Coulombe explain what an ultra-realist is? By the way, I finished the 5th novel. Please tell Mr. Biersach that I'm ready for the next one. Okay.
All right, we'll tell him that. We're ready for it too.
Yeah.
I've read it.
Oh, right. Because it's written, yeah.
Earlier versions. I've read it. I could actually tell right here, right now. I can tell everybody what happens.
Spoiler alert. Hello.
I'm not going to do it.
Okay.
I just said I could do it.
You're very privileged.
Yeah, I am privileged. I check my privilege.
Check your white privilege.
That's right. Anyway. Ultra-realism, well, it is a philosophical concept. One of the big philosophical motifs that was originated by a fellow called Plato was the idea of the universals, the archetypes. And these ranged from things that were very concrete, like man or chair or horse, to more intangible things like honor, beauty, etc. Now, for Plato, existent things on this plane of reality were like a chair is a chair because it has chairness, it reflects the chair in some realm of the unseen where all the archetypes dwell. This elaborates in what is called, his piece called The Cave. And we see basically what we see in terms of, well, chairs, are reflections of that archetype. Okay. Well, along came the Christians, and they baptized Plato's work. They didn't baptize Plato because he was long dead, but they baptized a lot of his work. Christian Neoplatonism was called. All the church fathers and most of the early scholastics were Neoplatonists, and they adopted this view of Plato's, except that they didn't place it in some realm of the universals out there somewhere, but in the mind of God. So the mind of God, the chair that exists in the mind of God is real. It's more real than the examples we see in front of us. But it's from that chair in the mind of God that these chairs derive their chairness.
Interesting.
All right. So they were called realists because they believed they were real. Well, it came to be called ultra-realists because Aristotle came forward with the idea that, yeah, the archetypes, the Platonic types are real, but they derive their reality from the sum total of their concrete expressions. So in other words, chair exists because of all the chairs that exist. They define chair. So rather than being up in the mind of God, it was here on earth being, you might say the multiple creation at any one time of all the chairs that exist.
Wow.
And that was called moderate realism. Well, there arose a reaction to that called conceptualism, which taught that there were concepts in the mind of man but had no real reality. And then lastly, my personal favorite, nominalism, which taught they were just words with no real meaning at all.
Wow.
So, that was it.
Okay. And who are, isn't Saint Bonaventure one of the great ultra-realists?
He sure is.
I think, as a side tangent, a lot of people, or several people, wrote in asking for ultra-realist resources.
Oh boy. I should probably write a list.
But, isn't it Etienne Gilson's Life of Saint Bonaventure? Is that one?
Yeah. And also, if you get a hold of Frederick Copleston's History of Medieval Philosophy, he has a number of them.
Okay.
They tend to be Franciscans, so people like Duns Scotus and Blessed Raymond Lully were were Platonic realists.
If I remember correctly, Father Aidan Nichols.
Yeah.
You considered him an ultra-realist, even though he doesn't abide by that term.
Yeah, I do. I don't think he would use the term of himself, but I suspect he's one.
Okay.
He's certainly much more of a Platonist than Aristotelian. Moderate realism was all bound up with Aristotle, and so was St. Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
The conceptualism was given us by Abelard, of Eloise and Abelard fame. And nominalism came to us from William of Ockham. But you know who the most famous nominalist was?
Who?
Martin Luther.
Ah.
And then when he left the church, he rejected scholasticism completely.
Wow. Okay, another resource for you guys, if you want to look up ultra-realism, is the Ultra-Realism Frequently Asked Questions from tumblrhouse.com. You go to Charles's page, and we link to it from there. And there's also a Monarchy Frequently Asked Questions if you're interested in monarchism, and written by this man himself. And it should handle every question that you have on either topic, and it's a great resource.
2 facts for the price of 1. And how much they cost? That's right. 2 facts Shapur.
2 facts Shapur? What? It sounds like you're trying to say Tupac Shakur, the rapper.
Yes, that's what I said.
You know Tupac?
Not personally.
You like any of his music?
Not really.
How do you know Tupac?
One knows. No, I ran into him in a bar in Compton years ago. No, that's not true.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway,
okay.